Hello team. So, there's new cards. A lot of new cards. Let's do some drafting. I think the Songhai are probably the faction I'm most excited to try out with the changes. Mostly because of Backstep. Lionar, they have the Echo Mage, right? And the Cataclysm. And then the card that lets you mulligan, which is probably very, very good in Gauntlet. I don't even remember off the top of my head what Vanar got that was new, even though I did the set review like 2 days ago. They basically have some cool. They basically have the Fortful that makes your things cost less when it dies. Both strong options. Let's start with Songhai because I think they're the ones that most immediately grabbed me. Okay, so new card here. So I'm already biased towards this pile. Inner Oasis. Inner Oasis does seem kind of good in Songhai, to be honest. It's a bit expensive though. Killing Edge is never goes amiss either. Over here we've got a Tusk Ball, which is obviously a phenomenal card, but a Swamp Entangler to make it worse. And then over here we've got a Blood Rage and a Twin Strike. Blood Rage at 2 mana is not super exciting. This is probably the like correct pile because, well, unless I'm hoping there's been some changes to how the drafting works, such there's a bit more variety. They did update the weights, but I don't know, how much of an impact it'll make. But previously, Songhai you basically played constructed Songhai decks, so I would want this pack. But I think I'm going to take this one because I want to try out this Rhythm Weaver. But there's a Backstep and a Tuskboar and a Hum-On Bladesticker, so that's going to be very hard to beat. Fountain of Youth, Mana Vortex, Komodo Scavenger, 1 phenomenal card and 2 crappy ones. And then we've got a Juxtaposition and a Primus Fist. That's also very compelling, actually. Jux is probably like... Jux might be the best spell in Duelyst. And especially in Gauntlet, where like positioning matters more. A little bit difficult to discern exactly where this is going to end up. I'm kind of tempted to, again, take this because it's got a new card in it and I want to play with this card. I also think this card's very good. It might not be quite as powerful as Juxtaposition because it can't move your enemies' cards around, but it's very good. Is that new art? I don't actually recognize the art on that spell. It certainly looks like it fits with the older Duelyst art in general. Yeah, let's take this. New cards. Wraithling Swarm. Stormcage. Have they increased the drop rate for alternate faction cards? Because we've seen 3 already. I thought they made them less likely. 4, in fact. Here's a Winterblade. Stormcage is funny, but... or Kage. Not actually sure whether it's meant to be pronounced in like an anglicized way or not. Over here we've got Chakri Avatar. Now nerfed apparently. Arcane Amplifier. New card, although not a particularly exciting one. And an Onyx Bear Seal, which is never bad to have. We've already got a bunch of 3 mana stuff, so kind of leaning away from it. And we have Winterblade, which is I do like. Blood Rage Mask and Repulsor Beast. I think none of these packs are especially compelling. Let's take this in case we end up being able to play around either of the minions. Like, Arcane Amp is new, so worth having just to see if we can make it work. And then Chakri Avatar is probably strong with our Backstep and things. Dragonlark, Keeper of the Veil, Dagger Carry, that's a no. Chakri Avatar, Mist Dragon Seal. 2 cards that have fallen somewhat from their peak, but still reasonably strong. Then over here we have Shield Oracle, Archon Spellbinder, and Stormcage, Kage, whichever it is. I can't not think of like Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. I always call him Cage. I feel like these are some reasonable cards, but they're also going to end up just being like, well, it's a big dork, or in this case, a small dork, compared to this, which is a game plan. It also means we can cut the other pack that had the Chakri Avatar in it, and still have a Chakri Avatar, which might be a good option to have. Rustcrawler, Scion's Third Wish, Red Singer, very good. Kaido Assassin, nice. Sword of Mechazor, that's nice. Chaos Elemental, another Hamon. We've already got 1 Hamon, and they don't stack super well. because it's, you know, an expensive big body. Our score is a 2-2 now, that's enough. Curve looks fine so far, so we're not dying for 2 drops. Third Wish seems pretty good in the general Songhai playstyle. Gives us mobility as well for like running away from stuff. Kind of combos well with Backstep. And then Red Singer is fantastic. On this side, Kaido's pretty good. Sword is pretty much only good with inner focus. I think I'll take this pile. Ooh, Gitatsu. Flame Acolyte, Scarlet Viper. Both now buffed since the last time I looked at them. It's a 3-5. Scarlet Viper 3-5 flyer with backstab seems pretty strong actually. Like 3-5 flyer for 5 is okay on its own already. And then the Flame Acolyte is like pretty good. This card, like, I always find that if I expect it to do work, it'll underperform, and if I expect it to do nothing, it overperforms. It's a really weird card, sort of on that borderline. The Gitatsu is very strong, but I'm not sure it's enough to make me want these 2 5-drops though. Over here we've got a Blood Tear and a Keshrai Fanblade. That's fine. I mean, a 5-4 with that ability is okay. 2 Gorhorns and a Hamon. Okay, so we've got a Backstab and a Mist Dragon Seal. And we're well under halfway through the draft. I think double Hamon, double Gorhorn and loads of movement spells is a game plan. So let's take these. I'm not like the biggest Gorhorn fan, but this seems that gives us a very solid plan, I think. Azurhorn Shaman, Jaxi, now a 2-2 Sarlacc. Seems strong. Ghost Links, that's pretty good actually. Crimson Oculus, not bad. Divination, another Rhythm Weaver, Repulsor Beast. So we've got a couple of cantrip creatures. We can take a Crimson Oculus or a bit more interaction. I think I like this pile more. Rhythm Weaver is good with Ancestral Divination, being a cheap minion. Drawing our spells is going to be very useful for setting up our combos with Gorhorn, Chakri. Like, a lot of our cards kind of require a spell to be good. In fact, most of our minions do so far. So I think I'm going to take this because it does set up pretty well. Ooh, Healing Mystic. Celestial Phantom, Tethermancer. Fine. 8 gates. Chassis, Purgatos. Crossbones, Jade Monk, Artifact Hunter. We have no artifacts? We have no artifacts. Honestly, probably whatever I take here I'm cutting. So I could take this to basically gamble on getting spells. I don't know how much spells that do damage, specifically. I don't know how much I want Chassis of Mechazor in my deck. Purgatos is fine. It's pretty good. Celestial Phantom is another card that goes well with movement effects, but doesn't require them as much as your Gorhorns and Chakri avatars. Tethermancer is just a body. I think I'll take this. That way we like have a healing mystic. Oh, there's a card that's good with 8 gates. And a Mana Artificer. I've not played with this card, but I like it a lot actually as a design. Saberspine, Ephemeral Shroud. Also a good pile, but I've just noticed this. Backstep, Ethereal Obelisk, Lantern Fox. There is no way I'm passing this pack. We need the backsteps. Obelisk is really strong. Like one of the best turn 1 plays in the format. And then Lantern Fox helps us kill our opponents, plays well with our buffs. Gives us a bit of burn, which we don't have. Heartseeker, Widowmaker, Putrid Dreadflayer. I think that the buffed Dreadflayer is really good. And then there's 2 ranged units, so this is a strong sell. Jaxian Sword, again with no inner focus. I don't really like the Sword of Mechazor. Second Tuskbore, Sevrel, also a compelling pile. Double Tuskbore is obviously extremely good. But I think I take this. I want to try out the new Dreadflayer. We don't have any like enablers for it, but you know this is obviously better in Abyssian than other factions. But it also eats up a ton of board space. It's very hard to trade into, and we can use a mobility spell to trade it up. Kotatsu Araki, nice. Mana Forger, Tuskbore, that's extremely hard to beat. Phantom Flame Wreath. So we have 2 backsteps and a Mist Dragon. And it enables itself now, which makes the card a little bit less awkward in Gauntlet. But it also has a lower ceiling, and I think Mana Forger with, you know, we got Divination, Backsteps, MDS, and then quite a few more expensive spells that are a bit clunky. Like this goes very well with Inner Focus, Inner Oasis, for instance. Take that. Mesmerize, deal 3 damage to enemy minions on a column and stun them, and a Phoenix Fire, so there's 2 interactive spells. Another Divination and a Blood Rage Mask, not super hot on that. Mana Vortex, very nice. Mogwai, it's fine. Saberspine Tiger, also fine. Mana Vortex, another very, very strong card. Very good with Inner Oasis. Third Wish. All strong. But we don't have, like... Oh, I don't know. We've got 2 Chakra Avatars. Those are our only spell triggers, I think. So maybe the Mana Vortex isn't as necessary. I kind of do want a bit more interaction. Right now we have essentially none except for teleporting minions onto things and this Onyx Bear Seal if we keep it. I guess Third Wish and Lantern Fox are sort of budget Phoenix Fires, as is the Dread Flare. Ditto Sinja. Okay, so we have a lot of like conditional... Oh, we have Tusk Balls as well, actually. Maybe I don't need this as much. I don't know, stunning things? A Phoenix Fire that stuns is pretty good. And more spells does help a lot with the Chakra Avatars. And Rhythm Weaver as well. Being able to draw removal with Rhythm Weaver is good. So I think I want this pile over this pile. Gloom Chaser. Now a 3-1. With reliable summoning. Interesting. It's quite nice, actually. Another Mana Artificer. I didn't take the first one, so this is appealing. Another Dread Flare, very good. Third Chakra Avatar, third Hamon, Lady Lock. I don't think we want more than 2 Chakras or more than 2 Hamons, to be honest. I love Hamon, but it can clog up the hand. They nerfed the downside, but it is still reasonably real. And there are definitely lots of board states where like a large vanilla minion doesn't really do enough or anything. And then over here we have BRM, 4 Winds Magus, and a Frostbone Naga. A little bit of AoE wouldn't go amiss, actually. Because right now we have none. None whatsoever. Except this, I guess. But we have no out-of-hand AoE. 4 Winds is a bit more healing and a bit more pressure, and we did just pick up some more spells. And then Blood Rage is likewise a bit more pressure with our somewhat increasing spell count. I think taking this pile will rely on me finding like a Mana Vortex or 2 and maybe another cheap interactive spell. Backstep double triggering these is really good though. I think this pile is totally fine. We're not lacking in 2-drops. I guess we don't have too many that are like cards that powerfully affect the board, but we've really got a lot of cheap cards, so we don't need more. We're not desperate. Second Dread Flare is probably not super worth it, considering the card can be a little awkward for us. So I think I will take this pile. There's a Jux. Prismatic Illusionist, and then new card Psionic Resonator. When you replace a card or play a spell, deal 1 damage to enemies in the same column. That seems pretty good. A Killing Edge and a Rejuvenator. I do like healing, but I'm not sure I like healing our opponent, considering we're trying to chip them down. Piercing Mantis, now a 1-3. We do have a Killing Edge, but no Inner Focus. Rite of the Elmdevolt. If I saw this early, I would have drafted around it, but I didn't. I don't think we need it. I think we have... We already have some card draw, and it's 2 draw, so like... Yeah, getting any more isn't going to benefit us. Yeah, and it's really hard to pass up on a Jux, even if these 2 cards are a bit naff. I think the Psionic Resonator could be quite good in our deck. It is essentially another 4 Winds Magus that can also hit can also hit minions. And then Illusionist is usually bad, but it's fine. Here we go. Juxtaposition, Mana Vortex. Right, now we have a deck. Gotatsu Dioltas. That's pretty good. That's very good, actually. Kaido Assassin, Heaven's Eclipse. Not bad. Not bad. Heaven's Eclipse with a Mana Vortex in the deck looks pretty decent, actually. Kaido Assassin with 2 Juxes and 2 Backsteps and Mist Dragon Seal is probably quite strong. Is it better than just Cantrip plus good 4-drop though? How many 4-drops do I even have? I have 4 and they're all kind of small. Duelyst does just trade with the general, but they take 6, which is kind of what we want. That fits the game plan overall, right? Like, Duelyst has Burn Spell is pretty good. This is our last pick, by the way. Let's just check these. I don't think we want this. This Albi's Prophet's kind of cool. We already have 2 Gorns, and Chewy is, well, it's cute, but I don't think it does too much for us. I mean, I guess we are sort of the deck for it, right? We have a lot of reposition spells. We only have 1 buff, though. We only have 1 Killing Edge. Besides the, like, +1 on Mist Dragon Seal, which is not enough for this to kill anything particularly important or relevant, I think. So I think this is a trap. Especially compared to these both very strong sets. What am I looking to cut? What was this? There was like Heartseeker, Widowmaker, and I forget what the third one was. Might have been the Dread Flare, so I could cut that set. I can maybe lose the Inner Oasis, this Third Wish, this Repulsor Beast, but I forget exactly what they were with. Set with the Amplifier, it was like Chakri Avatar, Arcane Amplifier, some other card, we can cut that. The Rust Crawler we don't really need. We'll have to have a proper look. I mean, I don't think I'm in risk of running out of 2-drops or spells. But these are both... Like, Kaido Assassin is kind of an above replacement level 2-drop for our deck. Heaven's Eclipse, likewise. We have so many cheap spells, actually. And we have several spell casting payoffs, right? We have the Blood Rage. We have the Four Winds. We have some worse ones, right? We have the Illusionist and we have Chakri Avatars, and then we also have this guy. So I think the Heaven's Eclipse is kind of a... It might be an I win card, which is usually what it's for. Kotatsu, Duelyst is more of like a balanced pick, right? This is our mid-range... Well, not really mid-range. Duelyst just trades with... The problem with this card is it can trade down very easily. It can just trade with 2-drops. So you have to play it very safely. And I don't think that really... I think that means it doesn't supply us with what we want. Like, I think if Duelyst was still a 5-3, it might get the nod here. But as it is, I think... Let's take the high ceiling combo picks. Oh, we do have 1 more left. Oh my goodness. Okay, Sun Elemental, Temporal Sage Lily. I like this card, and I haven't played with it yet, obviously. But I think it's going to be a hard argument over Tuskboar Killing Edge or Kaido Assassin, Windrunner, Zenri. Would I reasonably keep this pile? I think Zenri gives us outs to certain cards that we don't have a great way of dealing with. We do have the OBS. But other than that, we're not great at dealing with large minions. And Zenri does deal with a certain subset of large minions. Actually, that's a lie. We have 2 juxtapositions now. We are not actually that lacking in ways to handle Bone Reapers and stuff. Windrunner... I don't know if any of these effects count as moving Windrunner. I think... Oh, I didn't pick it. I think Flame Wraith explicitly says moves or teleports. So I don't think any of these cards work with Windrunner. So we just get the Kaido Assassin, which we don't need, per se. But it's not bad to have. Or we just pick Tuskboar Killing Edge. I don't know if 2 Killing Edges is actually that good for us. That's a lie. We have 3 Backstab minions. As well as a Lantern Fox that's good to buff. A couple ranged units. And like this. Just slapping it on a Riven Weaver, making a 6-3 is pretty good. Yeah, I should just take this. Okay, so in terms of has this draft experience meaningfully varied from the previous Songhai draft experience, I can emphatically say that no, it absolutely hasn't. We've drafted the same deck that we drafted before, but I am excited about the new cards. I think the new cards are going to be fun and meaningfully different. Right, cuts. Honestly, looking at this, I think Third Wish is a decent card, but we've already got a couple Phoenix Fires or similar effects. Red Tinger, likewise, very good, but we maybe don't need it. We have 2 Hammons to be like big minions. And we've got a decent amount of card draw, so playing a lower curve is beneficial. And then we can live without this Rust Crawler. We don't need it. We have loads of pings to get rid of artifacts if they come up. Do we want 2 Gorehorns and a Hammon? I think we do. Do we want this Onyx Bear Seal with these cards is another question. This Arcane Amplifier doesn't do very much for us. OBS does, in that like if they play Ironcliff Guardian on curve and we don't have like an easy juxtaposition play, this kills it. On the flip side, cutting Onyx Bear Seal makes Heaven's Eclipse more efficient, which is quite valuable. We've only got the 1 Mana Vortex to handle the higher costs. The second Chakra is like, you can argue whether this is useful or not. We could technically cut the Mist Dragon Seal, because we already have 4 displacement effects, but Mist Dragon makes it so easy for us to get backstabs. I think we should keep it. Down here, actually Repulsor gives us more removal that's easier to use than Jux, so maybe I should cut this Onyx Bear Seal. I'm a bit worried about just like not having any way to deal with a large minion. That's not even true. We can, if they just play a big thing and pass, we can backstab them a decent proportion of the time. We can kill. We have 2 killing edges, so we can trade with that, and we can move them out of the way. I'm kind of interested in seeing like, can that strategy be persuaded to work? This also trades well into big minions because it essentially attacks for 8. Yeah, all right, let's risk it. We'll cut this pile. Or this bucket, rather. Tethermancer, Healing Mystic, Celestial Phantom. I think we can cut this. The Healing Mystic is nice to have, obviously. The Phantom... Phantom is another answer to big minions. But it doesn't work out of hand. And I'd rather make the rest of our deck, like the actual engine, more consistent. So let's cut these. We still have a little bit of healing with the 4 wins, so... Now, we're definitely keeping this pile now with the way the deck's turned out afterwards. Like, we just took 3 0-mana spells and a Heaven's Eclipse. Like, we are killing people. All of this stuff is, like, thoroughly on plan. We want these... Do we want these ranged units? I think we have 2 killing edges. And I think we do need some way of, like... This is AoE and a good trading threat. We definitely want this pile. We want this pile. Because it helps with our consistency and gives us interaction. We want this pile, this pile... this pile and this pile. So I guess this, I kind of don't want to go down to 1 killing edge now with the decisions I made. And likewise, 2 Rhythm Weavers is very good. It's the awkward thing with the buckets. There's plenty of cards that I would individually cut from this list. Don't need this Inner Oasis, right? We can lose the Heartseeker, Frostbone Naga, Prismatic Illusionist, but I don't want to. I want 2 juxtapositions. I want these. I want, you know, the second Killing Edge. I want this Rhythm Weaver. I want all this thing. So I think we just leave it as is. We'll just run this. How long have I got? I have time for about 2 games. So let's play a couple more if we win quickly. Nice fast queue there. Always good to see. Definitely yes. Honestly, Kaido into Jux is kind of a good tempo play, so I'm gonna... actually, Frostbone, like turn 2 Frostbone Naga to contest the middle is pretty good. Why do they have Super Intelligence written under there? That's funny. I'm gonna keep this hand. Oh, nice. Good with the Jux. Don't natural selection me. Okay. Demonic Lure, fine. That kind of sucks. Right. This dragon. So I'm going to Tuskball this Healing Mystic. I think I have a line where I can, like... Let me get this right. I think I can play it and then use Juxtaposition to keep it alive. But I don't know if that's worth it. I don't think it is worth it. I think we simply do this. This kind of sucks. Like, we're losing tempo here. That turn 1 removal spell was, as they always are, very impactful. Widowmaker's a good draw. Mesmerize will help us sustain a bit of board. That's good. Okay, not taking Mana Tile. That Celithar's scary. How does Rebirth work these days? Summons an egg that hatches at the end of your next turn. Okay. So if we kill it now, it'll be rubbish. We just back away, play Widowmaker, and pass. Feels a bit weak, but could work. Or we can take a Mana Tile, Widowmaker, Mist Dragon Seal. That seems weak also. Don't like any of my options here. I will simply play this Summon Bladeseeker. That's a good idea. Killing Edge is good here, because if they don't have removal for this, we can just hit them for 12 and then see if they lose. So this not dying to natural selection is nice. Oh, I can tell what cards they have, don't I? They have a Demonic Lure and a Razorback. There's an Adamantine Claws. Fortitude's an interesting one. They are tapped out. I don't know that you needed to do both of those things there, opponent. This is pretty good. They're taking 8 for me. That's very nice. Okay. Frostborn Naga takes a charge off the Adamantite Claws and kills the egg. So I can do that and then move up to take the center. If I do that, I don't get to do anything else. I can Four-Winds... Four-Winds Juxtaposition isn't quite enough either. Boar is decent. Tuskboar is good here, actually, yeah. Because what I can do is run this over here, hit the egg, play a Widowmaker, pass, draw back up to 6. This probably dies. I mean, I guess they can ignore it and it'll dissipate. I'm a fool. Oh, that's brutal. My hand is full. This is okay though, because we're very far away from them and we have Four-Winds Magus. And a Gorehorn. I do kind of need... this one deals 1 damage, it's not too bad. So I could play Gorehorn here. I can Gorehorn Mesmerize, right? How does this work? Will this hatch before it triggers? I don't think I want to find out. I'll just stun this probably with Mesmerize. I have enough mana to Four-Winds Mesmerize instead of Gorehorn, but I actually think I want to play the Gorehorn so I can threaten a movement ability. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. It's not great. Felt like things were going well for a bit, but feeling awkward now. Okay, pretty happy for them taking 2 there, especially as that's a really good juxtaposition target. Okay. That's annoying, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. My opponent is currently dead to this Jux, right? So it's swap this. This attacks for Backstep 2. It attacks for 5. Oh, it's not actually lethal. I have 7 mana. Oh, which is enough for Jux, Killing Edge, Tuskbore, even with the Archon. That's funny. So, to not mess this up. Swap here. Walk behind. Buff. Hit for 9. Tuskbore. Win. Oh, I've completed Songhai Empire level 9. Lovely. On to the next one. That was pretty, it worked out, didn't it? Felt a bit touch and go. But I guess my opponent running away gave us quite a lot of space. Playing this, maybe they should have like played more aggressively and just come forward and played Spirit Harvester in my face. Because it's much harder for me to come back from there. But they obviously don't know what I have and whether I can kill them out of hand. Like, I don't have enough focus in my deck, but my opponent doesn't know that. As I remember, often the queue for the first gauntlet match would be quite quick, and then the others might be slower. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. I wonder why that is. Maybe a lot of people quit after their first attempt. I suppose you're at least, if you're looking for people who are 0-1 or 1-0, you're halving the potential pool of people compared to people who are on 0-0 who just haven't played any matches, which is going to be everybody who's on 0 games. Maybe that's why it takes longer. Yeah, maybe people just quit after a loss or something and it shrinks the pool. I'm not really sure. I respect the monetization changes they made to Duelyst 2. I found that was quite surprising to me, like in a positive surprise, obviously. But I really wasn't expecting that. I don't really know. I sort of briefly considered getting involved with the project when it was starting up, but I've not been in contact with them for most of the runtime of the game, and obviously it's gone from like, hey, let's do a hobby revival thing to like, there's a company name now, or what I presume is a company. There must be a corporation because they're like taking money and stuff. There's a lot of regulations around that. So I'm surprised that it's not free, but also cheap as it is. I presume they're just covering some like server costs or something rather than trying to pay salaries, which if it's still like effectively a volunteer hobby project, that kind of makes sense. But I hope people aren't putting in too much effort I hope people aren't putting in more effort than they want for free or like having to make sacrifices in their personal lives in order to keep supporting the project. Work is hard. Having responsibilities and the mental effort of working sucks. Okay, we're 3 minutes in. We may have hit the queue time singularity. Normally I would use this moment to recommend games that I've been playing, but I've made videos for that recently. I guess if you haven't watched them. The game I've recently been taken by is called Tales and Tactics. It's a roguelike single-player auto-battler. So think about Slay the Spire, but with TFT as the combat mechanic. Teamfight Tactics or Auto Chess, whatever. I think TFT has a hex grid like Tales and Tactics does, so that's sort of the specific Touchpoint. I haven't played. The only auto battler I've played is Battlegrounds, which is very different. But having a sort of chill single player version instead of the intense multiplayer APM fest that is the average other auto battler, it makes it incredibly pleasant. Like, it's a very relaxing game, which is exactly what I needed because I've been struggling with recovering from COVID, which I got for the first time about a month ago. And so actually having a game that's like, it's sort of the lowest amount of energy requirement of like any game I've played almost. You just sort of, I wouldn't call it an idle game, but like the combat does itself, right? You're not doing combat maths or anything. Like playing Monster Train or Slay the Spire, you're always like trying to figure out, oh, I can draw this, I should do this, trying to sequence your spells correctly and stuff. You don't have to do any of that in Tales and Tactics. And for the between match decisions, you're obviously, you know, I mean, it's a single player turn-based game. There's no pressure at any point anyway. But there's sort of, it feels especially low pressure due to the lack of intense maths and the fairly simplistic loop of upgrades. You have decisions to make. I do find it, you know, it's fun to make them, but I think there's enough. The chances of things happening are hard to calculate and also unpredictable. Like whether it takes, if you, auto battlers rely on getting like multiple copies of the same thing. So, and you can kind of re-roll the supply to do that, but it comes at a cost. And sometimes you'll get the things that you need quickly, and other times it'll take a long time. And you kind of, you can try and do the maths on which one it will happen, but because one of them can be far more costly than the other or lead you down different decision trees than the other, you kind of have to decide whether or not to go for it based on other factors than just like trying to do the maths. But there are mechanics in the game that allow you to skip having to just do that and find other ways to build consistency, which kind of unlock as you play, which I think are the most interesting part of it, like trying to tilt the maths one way or the other and then bank on doing the thing that looks the most likely, or trying to I'm going to cancel this and requeue. Yeah, trying to tilt the maths one way or the other, or trying to use other mechanics instead. Like there are other ways of getting more units that you can. It's like a fixed cost for a fixed effect compared to the unknown cost for an unknown effect that you get from rolling the shop, which is actually I think is quite compelling. Like you get to make decisions that are interesting, but you also can kind of go in and force a build to try it and see how it plays out. And I find that it's quite fun. Like the game strikes a good balance between being low energy, low effort, but also having making it easy to explore and having sort of interesting optimization challenges, especially as you unlock more stuff. Yeah, I would honestly recommend it. Tales and Tactics. It's a very early access game. Like the UI needs work. The music is a bit jarring, I found. Some of the like visuals, the 3D visuals of the board are like nicely colored, but not very distinct. So it's actually kind of difficult to see what your units are when they're placed in front of you. I found following the combat sequences is fine. You can kind of watch the effects go, and that's quite pleasant as well. But actually discerning which orc is which from like the sort of top-down view where the individual models are quite small and not very crisp is tricky. I'm going to give this another minute, and then if it doesn't happen, then we can have a single a single match with a random review of Teamfight Tactics? Tales and Tactics stuck on the end. And then I need to go and like cook. I guess coming back to the game at hand, I do feel like I guess maybe I shouldn't have expected the Songhai playstyle to have changed much given the cards they actually made. You know, in Constructed, I guess there's now more opportunities for different builds because you've got another movement spell. So now you have 3 movement spells, which is a lot more than 2, especially as one of them can trigger multiple times, and is cheaper than Mist Dragon Seal, and works with only 1 unit in play still. And then now you've got Flame Wreath as another payoff, rather than just like trying to stick a Gorehorn or something. So I think you can go in that direction, or you can go in the sort of burn direction that, you know, I think, from what I understand, is still the general Songhai build. One thing I miss actually from old Duelyst was like the mid-range Songhai lists. This probably wouldn't work very well in 2-draw, but you used to be able to build these Songhai decks that were just like big on-curve interactive minions. So you were just like, I remember in a recent video I talked about playing meme decks with Nemivore, and the shell of the deck was like, I had the Nemivore combo, but the deck would be like, okay, early plays, Thunderhorn, Sunset Paragon, Eternity Painter, just like 3 minions that like wipe my opponent's board or whatever every turn. Tried to control the game and establish a bit of enough of a board presence to make for effective trades along the way, or force my opponent to respond to something like, you know, Eternity Painter is a must-kill card. For those unaware, it was a 6-mana 3/4 that at the end of each of your turns, it transmuted all minions next to it into 0/2 pandas, the ones from One Expire Seal. So, you know, it was an AoE hard removal effect that then if your opponent didn't kill it, it would keep going and do it again each turn. So it's only a 3/4, but like, you just cleared their board, so they still have to put in some effort to remove it. Very, very strong card. And so that meant that, like, you know, I would play the Nemivore, but they would have already spent removal on Thunderhorn and already spent removal on Eternity Painter, and then this is 1 draw, so maybe they don't have another removal spell, and I can stick the Nemivore. I do miss that playstyle. I enjoyed that kind of approach to the game. Right, I may have to accept that this Gauntlet run is unplayable. I'll come back at like maybe a different time of day, and hopefully there's more queues, better queues. Maybe I should be I might pause the recording next time there's a queue and just wait, and then unpause. I'm not much of a video editor, but there's a pause button in OBS, so I'll just use that. I'm going to call it here, I think. Damn it, game. I literally waited for like 10 minutes. I was about to give up, and then you decided to give me an opponent. Well, hey, at least we get to end the video on a match instead of just me talking at a silent loading screen. This hand is pretty bad, though. I'd appreciate this going second, but I'm going to mulligan it. Do I keep this Mana Vortex, or do I just hard replace for a 2-drop? I'm just going to hard replace for a 2-drop. Okay, this will do. Lantern Fox is better on turn 2 than Gorehorn is. I'm a bit concerned of filling my hand up, but I think that's fine. We'll make it work. Okay. Gorehorn into Backstep's pretty good. Crossbones, I will kill that. I will kill that as well. Okay, so we get to clear the opponent's board here and develop Lantern Fox into something. I might have to ditch this Backstep. Oh, I guess we don't get to play Lantern Fox because of the Crossbones debuff, right? Is there a way that I can make this work? I can go here and here instead of killing the Crossbones. And go Lantern Fox, Phoenix Fire or something. Don't love it. There's a simpler solution. I think we should do this. We play the Gorehorn in a safe place. Move forward and kill most of their stuff. And then I can take the other mana tile that they leave behind. Maybe this should be a Lantern Fox. It's less bad against Demonical. And I'll get a Phoenix Fire out of it at least, so I have hand space. No, I won't, because I'll fill up my hand with this. Yeah, let's play the thing. Trade here, trade here. They have a natural selection. Good to know. Okay, we got a Jux, we got a Dread Flare. This is looking alright. Solid. I mean, that's kind of fine for us because it's a low tempo turn. But yeah, they can take this tile, but that doesn't help too much. Oh, they can take this tile as well. Strong. Or not. Mana Artificer. I mean, I don't hate this juxtaposition. You know what I can do? I can swap it with the Gorehorn and then use Backstep to teleport the Gorehorn behind me and then kill it. And then there's a mana tile over here that I can use for something else. It's a bit keen, but I like it a lot. Let's replace this Lantern Fox. My hand is full. Chakri. Okay, that actually makes this a bit better as well. So I can go here. Chakri on... Yeah, okay, let's do this. So we Chakri on the mana tile. We Jux this. Then we Backstep. The Gorehorn. It kills this. And the question is, do I just blink it onto the mana tile? Or do I blink the Chakri into the center of the board? Like my opponent... Oh no, they can't easily reach the mana tile. They need to make 2 plays to do it. Let's do this. I'll take the center. Feels stronger. That was a not bad turn. It feels a bit weird and awkward to use the resources so frivolous. Oh no, they have Wraithing Fury. That sucks. That's real bad for me. On the bright side, the Gorehorn does get the backstab when it attacks back, so it will die. Now that... Oh, they drew their natural selection. Okay, that sucks for me. All they've actually done, though, is kill my things and reset. And I have 2 Hamons, so that's fine. Do I replace one of them? No, I'll replace the Killing Edge. Phoenix Fire is good. Oh, I can do Putrid Dreadflare and Phoenix Fire it. I hadn't thought about that. That seems kind of strong, actually. Do I hit them? Yeah, I'm going to hit them. I've got a Hamon in play. Let's try and end this game. They die next turn? 12, 15, 17. No. Purgy Boy. Spectral Blade, okay. It's looking a little scary here. They're on 19. I kind of want to do this Putrid Dreadflare play, but I don't think it's actually good. Divination, also not that good. Does Mana Forger do anything for me here? I can do Mana Forger into Divination for 0. Phoenix Fire, plus Killing Edge. Plus Tuskbore, right? This doesn't kill my opponent, but it nearly kills my opponent. Oh, I don't actually have the mana for Phoenix Fire and Tuskbore and Killing Edge. But I can draw a card with the Tuskbore and save the Killing Edge. Okay, we whiffed. I think they gain 2 with me doing this, so this might not be great. But we get rid of the Spectral Blade, which is quite important. I think. Oh, I should have Phoenix Fired them first. I'm stupid. Because I'm hitting them with this anyway. Unless I want to do... I think I'm just going to do this. Screw it. They didn't have removal last turn, so like... Okay. Here are some good cards. This would have been nice to have last turn, actually. Because this Purgatos is obviously going to get to heal them a bit, and I've used my Tusk Ball like an idiot. I got to draw a card at least. No. Oh wait, this is one-sided now. I didn't take this earlier because I was like, I don't want to heal my opponent. What do they just do? Darkfire Sacrifice. That's very spicy. Oh no, that was Ritual Banishing. Ritual Banishing. We are untapping with Mana Forger here. But not much else. We can do 4 damage by killing the Dread Flare. We can make some illusions, but I don't think that achieves much. Blood Rage is pretty good. So I think I punt this away. So I want to play this Juxtaposition just for a damage. I don't think so. I think I can maybe do this. I might need it for the AoE though. And it's not like it's expensive for me right now. No, I'll just do it. Spending the mana is good. If we draw Heaven's Eclipse or something, we'll need the mana. Okay, we didn't. Oh, this is bad. We might still be in an okay spot though. Like, they can't move this, right? They can move something else to it. They can move the Mana Forger if they have a lure, but I think Purgatos is stuck over there for a bit. They do have a full hand though. No more outside faction cards. So we're okay on that front. I get to at least play this Dread Flare next turn. And then Jux it in the turn after. If they don't kill it. That's cool. Yeah. They still have a lot of mana. They're going to absolutely dump their hand here. That's 2-5. Okay, I mean, that didn't do too much. Right, give me the goods. Backstep. That does absolutely nothing. I can cycle this Mana Vortex at least and hit them. Wait, hold on. No, I'm pretty sure I have lethal. If I can line this up right. Move forward. Backstep the Mana Forger. Move this forward. Blink it in. Play the Dread Flare. Juxtapose the Mana Forger. Attack with everything. Oh my god, that line was so sick. This Backstep card's gonna get nerfed. What a card. Oh my god. That level of mobility with 2 spell triggers for only 1 mana. Let's get nerfed that. Alright, cool. Made it to 2-0. Thanks to some backstabbing, among other things. I nearly missed lethal there as well. Can't believe I nearly didn't spot that. Crazy. I guess I'm a little out of practice. Anyway, I need to go cook some dinner, so I'm going to scoot off. I don't know how consistently I'm going to be able to produce videos, because I'm going to be traveling away for Christmas for some days coming up. And I'll be away from my PC and corresponding recording equipment, microphone. Not to mention I won't necessarily have the time to sit and record for a while. So I don't know when part 2 of this video will be, but I will see you then. Have a good time, everyone. Catch you soon.